Oh, my bad. Look, I said, yo, straight up.
This guy.
The rhythm is gonna get you tonight. Something about 3 or 4 more discs. As I'm all messed up now. Can't feel my left big toe. That's a problem. That's a problem for violence. That's
that is a problem, brother.
Woo! Everything's getting fuzzy. Damn. Hello, folks. Hello, welcome, good day, bienvenue, guten Tag, buenos dias. Good. I just said guten Tag, right? Moshi moshi, ni hao, jumbo. Hi.
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Governor. Fancy a butchers. How's your father then? Brilliant. All right. There's no fit birds in there. What was you gonna say? Brilliant. All right. So, welcome to another. I need a new word. I need. Give me a word. I crave a word. Give me a word. Another exuberant, which plays off of enthusiasm, I suppose, and another enthusiastic episode. Another enthusiastic episode of the Fandom Initiative. Hello, I hope you all have had a good week. The weather has been temperamental at best for us. And can we stop acting like certain states have like a mix of weather? They're all doing it. The world is doomed. Stop acting like your city is the only one that has all weather in Detroit be like the weather in Houston be like the weather. It's all over. Stop it. Stop. We had snow in Texas. Like, stop. It's happening everywhere. You're not special for that. You're special in other ways, obviously, but for weather, you're not special. Stop it. So on that note, I hope you all have had a week that has been pleasant. I hope it's gone by quickly. It feels like it does go by quickly. I feel like we slipped into something at some point, some type of time vortex, omniverse type of machine where the next thing we knew that Trump was president. I think that's when it started. It just went wild from there. It just got crazier. I don't know what to tell you. Godzilla apparently is outside your front door with a UPS package. I don't know if you want to get it yet. Don't sign for it. Don't sign for it. But hey, it's Saturday. And we're gonna have fun today. All right, let's get these introductions out of the way. The man sitting across from me, he is a cinema star. He's a cinema god. One day he'll be the head of a network, probably a production company. Speaking it into existence right here and now. This is Michael Williams, y'all.
What's up, y'all? Good to be with you on this Saturday.
Yes, this Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Saturday morning cartoon. We need to do another Saturday morning cartoon show. Bro.
True.
What was your favorite thing to do on Saturday? Just a random Saturday show. At noon, you better get the hell out. Don't come back till streetlights come on. And myself, I'm the hungriest man in the room. You can take that however you want. I am the hungry bleak. Hashtag the Dark Star. Hashtag Nevermore. Hashtag in stasis. We trust. If you play Destiny 2, I am Antonio Pomares, and welcome to the fandom, y'all. How's your week been, brother?
It's been good. Closing up some chapters in my life, getting ready to open up a new one.
Yeah.
Well, sir.
Well, don't let them know that you got books, brother, because they'll try to ban them. So, what we're gonna... Ooh, that was topical. Ooh. Have you heard the news? Have you heard this one? Michael, have you heard about this story? Have you heard it's the worst Johnny Carson? Some of y'all don't even know who Johnny Carson is.
That's the crazy part.
The minute I said Johnny Carson, I heard like the pin fall out of my hip, and I don't have a pin in my hip yet. That's how old I felt. I was like, I said hell. Goddamn hell. It has been a week. It's Saturday. Let's enjoy it. Let's dive into some of this geeky fandom, nerdy revelry. We've got a lot going on. We've got a lot of show here, folks. There's a lot. Next week is going to be a lot of show too. Next week's gonna be a lot of show. There's gonna be a lot of show. Be a lot of show. It's manila envelope sealed. Sealed. I don't know why I'm hammering that into the ground. The people have no idea. Johnny Cars, who? Johnny, Ed McMahon. Ed who? Publishers Clearinghouse. No, cool, whatever. He'll come to your house with a bunch of balloons and a big ass check. No, okay, cool, whatever.
Jimmy Fallon? That you know.
Yeah,
that you know.
Jay Leno. Yeah. My chin's not big enough. So this week, folks, we got. Well, actually, last week we got the first trailer for Ms. Marvel on Disney Plus. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Excited by this. I'm not as familiar with Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, as a lot of readers are. I know her more from the Marvel's Avengers, the video game, which she's like a starring role in that game, which is beautiful. I love that. And from reading the Champions and the animated series that they were doing on Disney, I'm gonna say Marvel Uprising. I think it was.
Yeah. She's across multiple shows now, I think.
Yeah. Well, she's just that character. She's incredible. I remember reading the first issue and I was like, oh wow, this is really great. I never went back to it. It just wasn't there for me. But I've always loved the character, and her. You feel her when you're playing in the Marvel's Avengers game. You feel her exuberance because you start out as her, and she's got all this energy. She's bouncing off the wall, and she becomes what she's already Inhuman. Then she gets the gas, but then she gets her powers, and it's just crazy from there. It's just really great. She's one of my favorite characters to play in the game because she's just there, and she's one of the only characters I'll have on my team no matter what. I'll change out the other 3 people, but she stays on the team. She just has that beautiful heart. I'm just excited about this, man. This is I think it's because it's something new. It's a character I'm not really familiar with, so that's exciting to me too. So my eyes can be open. So I'm going to be like, okay, cool. You know what? If this is what's going on, I need to read up. Now I know that they've changed her power set a bit for the series because I believe they want to distance themselves from Inhumans. But again, at any point this could be retconned because we know that they'll retcon things because we saw what happened with Scarlet Witch, which was a still incredible retcon. Loved it. Your thoughts on this, sir?
This is one of the shows that I was hugely excited for when they were talking about it initially. So trailer is amazing. I think there's something in that trailer though that makes me think that the reason why they dropped this movie when they did was the whole point of it. Eternals. Yes, because it looks like people are theorizing anyway that she's going to be using quantum bands in this show, and the quantum bands to me look like something that the Eternals would have made. Although I know in the comics the quantum bands have a very different connotation than they would in the show, but I almost feel like this is going to somehow lead back to Eternals.
Well, I mean, it'll all like they always intertwine everything in this particular saga arc. I guess we could say for movies.
Yeah,
I think in some ways they're actually doing 2 arcs at once because you have the series, like the series that are out now. I think they're trying to do 2 arcs at once, which I'm not mad at all because they will eventually bleed over, or they'll do anything possible. At one point, I'm hoping that we're going to get Champions and West Coast Avengers. I would freaking love that. I think that's great. Quantum Band, I'm not sure. I mean, it could be that because she does wear the band in the not the Quantum Band. She does wear a band in the comics. I think it's more of a cultural thing, but they could blend the quantum bands in and make it have looked like a cultural piece possible. I'm not sure. I'm not even going to theorize on it because I don't know enough about the character. But whatever they're going to do, I'm going to sit in for this story and I'm going to enjoy it. This is one that was low key really cool, and I'm so glad and so happy that they did it and they decided to jump in with both feet. Between this and I'm going to say between the Disney Plus series, which I will differentiate from the Netflix Marvel series, even though they are on Disney Plus now, all of the other Netflix Marvel series. I'm going to differentiate. The ones I'm most excited about for these series, Moon Knight, obviously. Even when it was rumored and whispered, I was like, please, 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 please. Ms. Marvel, and also, actually, I'm excited for all of them to come to think of it because they're all just because they all have a different spot and they all play a different role in the MCU, which is cool. But Ms. Marvel was one because I don't know much about a character. I was excited to see what they do with it, how they did their powers. I was hoping that we were going to get the embiggening, but we don't know yet because it did show a little snippet of her using the band, if that is what's giving her powers, or if it's actually her herself. And we did see an embiggening of her fist, which is a nice little nod. Because if you know her powers, you know. But look, I'm all in. I don't know just about any of the cast, I'll be honest with you. But Iman Vellani, hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Welcome to the MCU. It's going to be a really, really crazy ride for you. And I'm so happy for you and everyone in the cast. I'm legitimately happy for that. And for this young girl who's playing this brown Muslim girl from Jersey City, saying that line about a character in the MCU, never thought we'd hear that. Because we went from Iron Man and Thor and, the Marvel's Holy Trinity, quite possibly a holy quartet if you add in Hulk. And we've gotten characters that we never thought we would get. Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. Again, in this particular sentence, I'm going to add in them because we still got them. Yeah. But and they could be coming back because we did see Fisk.
Yeah. There's slowly stuff trickling out about a Daredevil reboot.
Yeah, which would be cool.
So, yeah.
I don't know how they would do it. Again, that's part of the excitement too, is seeing how they do it. Do they just make it a continuation? Do they start all from scratch? Is it a different universe? Because we do have a multiverse that has been established now. So was that a different, because they never actually said the attack on New York. They always said the event. They always said, they never actually said those words. So even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which everybody says in a different timeline anyway, that could be a different universe altogether. So we don't know. So again, this is fun. This is exciting. I'm genuinely happy for that cast. I can't imagine the fun, and imagine being sitting there and going, well, we've picked you for the role of Kamala Khan. I can't imagine the thoughts that went in her head when that happened and they said it to her and she got the call, or they sat her down, however they gave it to her. Yeah. I can't imagine that. That's awesome. So happy for that. Next week we're getting Moon Knight. Yep. Can't tell me nothing. Call me, text me.
Oh, now I gotta blow up your phone. Now I gotta blow up your phone. Now I gotta purchase a bot.
Do not disturb.
Will text this dude every 5 minutes.
Do not disturb after Wednesday. My phone is gonna be on lockdown. I'm gonna be in the woods with just enough cell service so I can watch Moon Knight.
My bot's gonna say, "You good, Poppy? You good? You good? Why you watching this show?"
Between Moon Knight and then a couple of days later, I got Morbius, which is probably April Fool's joke. The movie probably even coming out. They probably just messed us up again. And I didn't buy a T-shirt because the T-shirts I saw I honestly didn't like, so I wasn't gonna roll out like that anymore.
That right there shows you that's not a good sign. You can't find a T-shirt. The movie's gonna be crap.
No, it's just they had a bunch of them, but I was like, I'm not feeling any of these. I wanted, in my head, I know what I wanted, but they're not gonna make it. So what have you. All right, so let's go with streaming. We got a lot of stuff going on streaming. We had Master, which is on Amazon Prime. I think this was maybe like select theaters, I want to say as well. I think this Regina Hall, y'all all know, love me some Regina Hall. Zoe Renee, I believe is the young actress's name as well. Regina Hall plays this headmaster, this new headmaster of a school. It's their first black headmaster. I believe their first female headmaster as well of this school. And we also follow this young freshman who first time in college, obviously because I just said freshman. So it's her freshman was right there. Redundancy table of one. So we follow both of them as they're there for their first times and figuring things out. And there's this looming thing of possibly a haunting, a witch, but we're also getting a lot of threads of racism, misogyny, rape culture as well in the themes along with this. This was a wild ride. I had to stop it at a certain point, not in a bad thing, because I got heated. I wanted to punch people in the mouth. At not mouth, but mouth. That's how hard I wanted to hit you. I wanted to change the spelling of mouth. I wanted to be mouth for what was going on. And it just it was uncomfortable and cringeworthy, which I think was needed in a horror movie. We're also getting something that we haven't really delved into, college horror outside of like slasher films, really, where we've had two black female leads and looking at the horror through their eyes and the haunting of past ghosts being, old white racist males mostly. But yes, there were some, obviously there were white women racists as well. And them trying to navigate between that and also navigating everyday school and the students. And I think they said that there were only like 8 black students. I don't know if that was a joke that the girl was saying or if she was serious, which I was like, damn, wow. For me, watch it. I liked it because it brought up questions. It made me think a bit more. It made me go, wow, I never thought about this and that. So I liked that setting, that aspect. And I liked Regina Hall in this. There was some heartbreaking scenes. There's some scenes that we just did and that we didn't go back to. So I like some of the unanswered portions of it, and that adding to the horror thriller aspect of it. I think that's how I want to consider it, like a psychological horror thriller aspect of it. But for me, yeah, it was definitely, an hour, 40 minutes. No, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, no,
about an hour, 40 minutes. Yeah. So I enjoyed it. Afterwards, I was sitting. I had to process it because I was like, damn. And I ended up having like an FB conversation, which I don't do very often. Don't engage me for FB conversations, please. Don't. It's not worth your time.
Another bot.
Nope. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your time. But yeah, and we were going through it, and we were talking about it because someone had just watch it, and I was like, "Yo, I enjoyed it. It's great." And they were like, "Yeah, I enjoyed it, but what about this?" And we started going back. Well, what about this questions like that? So yeah, for me, watch it, check it out. I actually enjoyed it. Michael,
it was okay for me. It just gets an okay for me because I think the sum of the parts of the movie kind of don't equal a whole for me, which is weird. Like, I think I'd be much more interested in seeing what the script was originally for this film versus what they wound up with at the end. Because it's just kind of like, it's not that Regina Hall isn't good. It's not that Zoe Renee isn't good. I just think that there were parts of it for me that just kind of felt like, let's just tack this on and not really deal with it until we get to a certain point at the very near end of the film. And it just is like, okay. you know what I mean? Like, there is a part there when we're dealing with the professor who winds up getting tenure.
Yes.
Which is something that could be really interesting had they dealt with it a lot earlier in the film than when they chose to do when they dealt with it. You know what I mean? Because it just felt kind of rushed when they finally got to that part. It was like, okay, we're like in the last, 15 minutes of the film? Let's now deal with this. You know what I mean? It's like, no. Like, and that's something that has happened, that we all know has happened, kind of a big deal in like real life when someone, tried to perpetrate themselves as a certain race and they weren't that race at all. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, I don't know, it just felt like I'm not sure if they just didn't want to. I'm not sure if the filmmaker or the writers just didn't want to redredge that story, but it was just kind of like there was something there that they really could have dealt with and really worked through the entire film, and they just didn't. It just felt kind of tacked on, and I don't know. It kind of irritated me. And then it was just something else where I felt like they didn't and this was rattling around in my head the entire movie. Like, I like the fact that it was sort of this college horror aspect, which you don't really see, right? You don't really see films that kind of deal with like the sordid histories of these universities and the things that go on at these universities that oftentimes universities just want to kind of sweep under the rug, right? Because they're about making money and they're about, getting kids in and as many kids as they can. And if kids knew about these things off the top of their heads, they may think twice about going to a place like that, right? So for that, this movie is welcome. Like, I welcome a movie that's willing to kind of deal with that stuff. The other part of it is that it felt like it was kind of, the university was kind of set in the backdrop of a place where obviously Salem witch trials happened, right? Or that was what they were kind of referring to, witch trials. So when I think witch trials, I think Salem witch trials, obviously, right? So it's like, there's a part of me in my head that was thinking that, were there black witches? Because we oftentimes don't hear anything about that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I felt like this film could have possibly theorized about certain things like that, but it kind of didn't go there at all for me. And maybe that wasn't the point, right? But I just felt like that was a dynamic that they could have touched on and they didn't, for me. And it's not that the performances in the movie aren't good, because they are, but I don't know. It just felt kind of, the story felt kind of disjointed for me. That's what it was.
I don't think those other things had to do with that story. I think they were just saying that they were part of that backdrop, and because those two things in essence were somewhat linked if they were doing about witches, because the character Liv was raised, possibly the daughter, we don't know. That's an open-ended question again, which was out there, where she was like supposed to be raised by them. But I don't think that stuff was a part of the story that they wanted to tell. I think they were just a part of background, maybe scene, what have you. But that wasn't the story. They weren't going for that particular story.
Right.
There could be something else that comes down the line. I don't know, from this writer or stuff like that, or screenplay writer for those stories. But this story, the way they wrote it, I don't think there was a supernatural aspect to it. It was just a really effed up story, and Oh yeah. Also, a trigger warning for suicide and for sexual assault. But the story that they told worked for me because it's a story I haven't seen before, a story I haven't heard before, and I like hearing new stories from different eyes, and especially if I can sit at home and watch it, it's even better. But I think I will say one thing. I think this would have been better if they had put it out during the fall. Okay. It felt more like a fall movie.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing. That's not, in my head, I have a certain classification of when movies should be put out. Now, I can be totally wrong, but I think it makes a difference because it's at home. It's not in theaters. But I think this movie felt more like it should have been in the fall, just because I think the time of year, too. It just felt like,
No, I understand what you mean.
Obviously, like certain movies, you look at them and you like, and you feel fall. You like, this is a fall movie.
Yeah.
Why is this out when it's, in the summertime or whatever? But I honestly, like that's the one thing I would have said. But I think those other things were just there as maybe kind of like to mess with your head with how her head was being messed with, possibly, because there was a lot of stuff going on. She's hallucinating, so we're hallucinating because we're seeing it through her eyes mostly. Also through the headmasters, but more through this young girl's eyes and what tragically happens. But it was interesting. I hope that there are more conversations that are started by this movie, just because of how like it looked. You're like, what the hell was going? And it was just out there. Another thing that came out this week. It was this week, right?
Yeah, this week. Yeah.
We get Halo. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna do the whole damn thing. This is one of like the biggest like video game franchises out there.
Xbox exclusive
from Xbox. You're basically playing as this super soldier, possibly cybernetic. I can never remember his exact origins. Master Chief and his fight against the Covenant and all these different alien races. And this series takes a lot of the lore from the games and from novels as well. And I want to say there's a comic from Dark Horse too. I think there's a couple of comics from Dark Horse, but makes it its own. It plays in the sandbox, but it makes its own path, which I like. It doesn't have to follow through with everything. I enjoyed it. It felt like, this is going to sound weird, and I don't mean it in the way it sounds, but they just have a certain way of producing things. It felt like a Paramount Plus show.
Okay.
I don't know what. There's a certain way that their shows feel when I can watch them. Paramount Plus, PS4, and it felt like it, and I enjoyed it. I've played 4 games, I think. Huge fan. I would like pre-order the games. It was the first person shooter that I would play that felt comfortable. All the other ones I hated. This just felt right. Always a fan of seeing Pablo Schreiber. Dude is just if you have Hulu, go watch Lights Out. Go. Not now, but later on, go watch Lights Out. Then check out his turn on Law and Order SVU. Terrifying. So we meet Master Chief and the other Spartans, because we don't rarely see a group of Spartans together. We only see Master Chief in the games, really. And we follow them. This is their beginning. And we see the Covenant for the first time. And we get to see Reach, which is a planet that's known in the video games as well. There's even a Halo game called Reach. I believe it's the prequel to the actual video game series, the franchise. I liked it. I'm not as deep into the game as I used to be, obviously, because I have an Xbox One. I have the white one. The white one that overheated that you had to get a replacement. I have that one. But I'm here for it. I want to see more of what's going on. I hope they do more stuff like this, Paramount. Like, I don't know what licenses you have, but yeah, this is cool. I'll definitely be checking this out. Awesome.
Yes. I agree with you, brother. Like, I've never been a huge player of Halo. Like, I've always been aware of it because it was like, at the time, it was the most popular game on Xbox when it launched. But I like the show a lot, and I've been kind of following the show and hoping that it would finally come to television like they said it was going to. This show's been in waiting for at least 5 years. And it was,
has it been that long?
Yeah, it was supposed to come on. And it's funny that you say that it's a Paramount Plus. You feel like it's a Paramount Plus show. It actually was supposed to debut on Showtime. And Showtime decided they weren't going to put it on, and they moved it over to Paramount Plus about they said about a year and a half ago. They probably made that announcement. It was going to be on a Paramount Plus, and I was like, okay, well, guess I got to get a Paramount Plus subscription temporarily to watch this show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
air quotes temporarily.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, T-Mobile came through with that free subscription to Paramount Plus, so thank goodness for that. But yeah, I like it because one, it's not a movie, because initially they were talking about making it a film, and I'm glad that they didn't. But two, the look of the show is amazing, and it almost kind of like sometimes in movies when they try to do the first person shooter type games and make them films, I don't know, the Doom maybe, yeah. The action to me almost doesn't
translate.
Yeah, it almost doesn't blend well. It's weird. And you would think it would, right? Because you've got a bigger budget, you can kind of do the things you want to do, but somehow it doesn't translate all the time. On this show, however, I think it does. And it's almost like when you watch the battles, it's almost what most video game people would argue about when they see previews of a game, right? Like everything you see is a cutscene. It's not actual gameplay.
Yep.
It's like the battles in Halo are these blown out cutscenes, and it just works. It just completely works. And I agree with you, brother. I like Pablo Schreiber. I think Pablo Schreiber is a criminally underrated actor. Everybody knows his brother, Liev. Pablo is a very good actor. A very good actor. And so far, I really like that they chose him to play Master Chief. So far. Based on this first episode already.
Yeah, I would say like this is going to be a fun. I haven't been following it because I just haven't been following it. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that he took his helmet off. I didn't. I was like, God damn it. I was like, whatever. But I understand. You know, it was like, you know, like Mandalorian taking his helmet off every 5 minutes. This is the way. Oh, you know what? Let me take my helmet off real quick. Didn't you just say this is the way? The hell? What? Ain't this your whole? Oh, you're the worst Mandalorian ever. Oh, for real. And then got mad when they, all right, whatever. Yeah, that was the only, like, they took it off the end of the first episode. I was like, all right. They showed the back of his head, and I was like, yeah, just show the back of his head. Don't show nothing else. Don't show nothing else. Don't show nothing else. Then they show his face, and I'm like, y'all had one job, man. Why? But that's, I think, me just being tired of that, because it feels like it's almost becoming a trope now. I know it's only 2 shows, but it feels like it's going to become a trope with certain other shows. If they start bringing characters that don't take it, it's like Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. Dredd never takes his helmet off. Never. You never see his actual face. But I am the law. No, you are not. You are not the law. And you're like 5'5". You're like my height. Dredd is like 7 feet tall. I could have played Dredd, kept my helmet on. That was the only thing that really bothered me. I like the fact that they were talking, that they showed the different areas. The weapons were spot on, beautiful. The way that they showed, you know, the Spartans having either sniper rifle or the assault rifle, the pistol, them all of them having the sidearm, which is just part of it. Because when you start the game out, you start out game out with the assault rifle and the pistol. Then you can pick up whatever the hell else, showing the Covenant weapons and the cloaking technique. I was like, as a player of the games, I was like, damn. Showing the sword, the plasma blade, I was like, this is dead on. So yeah, you definitely have some. We've come a long way since, and sorry about this. We've come a long way since Super Mario Brothers.
Yes.
Sorry, Dennis Hopper. Sorry, Bob Hoskins. You guys are great actors, but geez, what the hell? John Leguizamo, yeah. Samantha Mathis, I think, was in that too. Jeez, what the hell? Wow. Well, you know what? She's working out because she's doing Billions, and she did The Strain. So yeah, this is going to be a fun one. I'm excited each week because this is going to be coming out with every Thursday?
Yeah, I think so.
Which I'm glad they did. Well, actually, I wish they had actually did like Tuesdays, because Wednesday is Disney Day. Thursday, I believe, is HBO Max. Like Thursday, like when they have a DC property, like that's when they put out, is on Thursdays. I wish they did a different day. I like the fact of these streaming services doing certain days, like, oh, we're gonna every Tuesday we'll do this. Like I actually like that, because you don't get bogged down. Oh, everything came out on Friday. Oh no, now I gotta watch it. I like it kind of being rationed out, and I'm starting to like again that show of like one episode a week. I'm kind of liking that. I think that's a good thing. I do like being able to binge, but when it's a nice trickle down, it's easier to maintain, and I like that. So we'll be sticking with Master Chief until they're eating soup out of his helmet, I guess.
This gives me hope that we can actually get a decent whatchamacallit property too, depending on whoever has that license or whoever wants to tackle it. Gears of War.
Oh, that's Amazon.
Yeah?
Amazon, yeah. I would say Amazon. Don't give it to Netflix, because they're going to cancel it. And it's no affront to Netflix, but that's been their MO for a minute. Paramount Plus, they already got Halo. Yeah, I would say Amazon. Amazon's kind of been cornering the market on that, and not really cornering the market, but their stuff has been a bit. They're going more with the mature rated, harder stuff, and that's a hard series for a company that already has Invincible and The Boys. Gears of War fits right into that, honestly. So I would say Amazon. Yeah, give him that Jeff Bezos money, bro. The Bezos budget. How much is this car? Jeff Bezos could afford 30 of them. Oh, that sounds about my budget. Sign me up. Yeah, I wouldn't say HBO Max, because no. Because they've got enough to deal with all of the shows that they have going on at one time now, especially with the DC stuff. They have a lot going on. So because I don't want it to get lost in the shuffle. Amazon has a lot of product, but they don't have so much as everybody else, because a lot of their series have ended or such. So I would say Amazon. Yeah, go with that. Speaking of HBO Max, we got DMZ. Hot damn. Yes. Oh, yes. I guess. Yeah. It's 4 episodes, which again, y'all know I love a short season. And this is a limited series. So it's 4 episodes, about an hour long each episode. This is the most beautiful New York I've ever seen depicted in any movie.
Wait, is it only 4 episodes? The entire series?
Yep, it's a limited series.
Get out of here! Only 4 episodes.
4 episodes, brother. 4.
I thought literally when I looked at it,
I thought it was gonna be longer.
I only watched the first episode. I watched the first episode this morning, and I saw that there were 4 episodes up there. I thought they were just waiting for the next episode to come. I was like, now you're saying it's 4? I'm like, what?
I believe it's only 4. I mean, I could possibly be wrong, but I think it's only 4 episodes, bro. It's a limited series.
4 episodes.
But it tells a story in that time.
Okay.
You have character arcs. You have, again, this is the most beautiful rendition of New York. And it's funny because it's in the middle of a civil war. This is the DMZ, the demilitarized zone. It's the most beautiful representation of New York I've seen in a series, honestly. The colors are vibrant. You have all these people of color walking around. This ain't Friends. If you like Friends, this ain't for you. There ain't no central perk. The perk of this series is that you're going to love it. That is the perk. Now go run tell that to your mama. I don't know why I got in your face right now. I apologize. I don't know why I got so aggressive in your face. I apologize.
I'll tell you what vibes I got after just watching this first episode. This is gonna sound weird when I say this to you, brother. The Warriors meets a better version of I Am Legend.
Well, the Warriors reference, I can definitely. I mean, everybody had to have gotten that during that first episode because and that felt like an homage to me of it, but it doesn't go that route. I Am Legend. I can see that.
Not the content of I Am Legend, but
just the feel.
The
just
feel
like
of it.
The trying to think of the word. Slight vision.
Yes.
No, I can definitely feel it because it's that same type of feel. Especially when he walks by like the Jaguar. I mean, yeah, but it takes a different way. Ava DuVernay, thank you. This is yes. I needed this. This is and it has a feel good ending.
Okay.
Beautifully shot. Rosario Dawson plays lead Z. We even get Nora Dunn is in this.
Okay.
She's not in it a lot, but she's in it, and I'm like, oh, Nora Dunn. I ain't seen you in a minute. What's going on? We also get
we also got
Rutina.
Rutina Wesley.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Which Queen Sugar, obviously, another link to Ava DuVernay, and I love her. I want her in a MC. I want her to, if they ever did a series on this, I want her to play Blade's daughter.
Okay.
Which is something that was supposed to have happened years ago for a comic. There was a whole bunch of crap, unfortunately.
We also got
Hoon Lee.
Yeah, we got that too. But we also got Meryl Streep's offspring in this show too.
That's why she looks so familiar.
The daughter, the doctor that she meets in the very first episode
that's why she looks so familiar. All right,
is one of Meryl Streep's daughters who were acting.
She has her mother's nose and eyes.
Yes,
because I'm looking at her like, why does she feel? I feel like I've seen her so many things. I'm like, why is she so familiar? Like I felt like a bond. I'm like, why am I so close to this woman? Why?
You've seen her in other things. She was in True Detective season 1.
Well, no, but I mean like a lot more. Like I've seen her for like decades. But it was her like just carrying her mother's energy with her. The show is beautiful. It's very touching, very heart-wrenching. There is action. There's definitely drama. This is the story of a doctor. Let me say a medical professional because I'm not sure if she's a doctor or a nurse or like I'm not sure what her actual profession is in this time. Who goes into the DMZ after the civil war between the United States and the FSA, which is the Free States of America, I want to say it's called. And she goes there looking for her son 8 years later. She goes to Spanish Harlem. She's to talk to her son's father, who is this big crime lord, or gang leader, what have you. And he's one of the gang leaders along with Hoon Lee, who plays the character Wilson Liu, I want to say, who is the other one, who is her friend from years back. And they're actually trying to elect a governor. Is it governor or mayor?
Governor.
Is it governor? A governor of the DMZ. And it goes from there. And the rivalries between the multiple gangs, but two in particular, between Chinatown and Spanish Harlem. And it just, this is just, loved it. This is one of the feel-good watches of 2022 for me already. And again, it's only 4 episodes.
Yeah, we got Benjamin Bragg with all his swag in this show. We also
I don't know where he's been at, but he's been chilling. Like, look, I got this coming up. I'm good.
We also got a scene with Rosario Dawson and her baby hair pinned on her face.
Bruh.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was. There's so much. Yeah. I'm real. I want you to watch the whole thing.
I will, brother. I'm really surprised that it's only 4 episodes. I'm stunned.
Because sometimes it's all we need are 4. Sometimes that's all we need. We're so used to somebody needing 20-something episodes to tell a story, where you can tell a great story in 4 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, and it God, the way it's just the colors are so vibrant, and like and some people chose to stay in New York. Some people chose to leave. Some people were left behind. So you see, there's a combination of people who don't feel right in either side of the Civil War, or who were left there and made a life. And you see what it's like because the little boy there, his grandfather, he's trying to figure out his day-to-day life. And the boy, I want to say, is maybe no older than 10, right?
Yeah, I would say no older than 10. Yeah,
maybe 11. Oh, that's hard to tell because he's small and I was small as a kid, so I'm still small, so I don't know what the hell that. I don't know what that means.
Schmedium?
The Schmedium, sir. Sir Schmedium was my name at the round table. Sir Schmedium. I was like, look, Arthur, man, you got one more time. Keep playing with me. All right? I ain't going to tell you what Lancelot was looking at Guinevere, but that's all right, man. Keep playing. Keep playing. Yo, Lance. I see you, man. I see you. You better stop. Yeah, the series just feels so good, man. It's well acted. Material is there. And there's a scene where they actually talk about code switching and how people like, this is the only place where we've actually been free. There's no code switching in the DMZ. It's not like you have to use 2 different voices. There's none of that. It's just a place of freedom. And you notice that it's because I think there are maybe like I think I saw maybe like 4 white people the whole series. I think so. And one of them was Meryl Streep's daughter. So I mean, it's just the way they talk about. Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's just a really great watch. I really enjoyed it. But you know what you're going to enjoy right now is you're going to hear Michael give his just a thought on the darker side of merging. And not driving. I don't mean like driving merging. I mean like companies merging.
Merge left?
on your left. Damn, man, seriously, man. How do we throw an MCU reference in there? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
We should get paid for this.
No, I mean, as you all know, Amazon closed on acquiring MGM this past week, I believe it is. So besides the obvious things with mergers that happen on the business side, right, where it's like people you may know who you've worked with in these industries wind up oftentimes losing their jobs, right? Because when companies acquire a certain, amount of assets, they don't need as much redundancy, right? So they kind of put their people in place who they trust to handle those things. And then oftentimes, unfortunately, people are let go. But that is not really where I kind of wanted to focus this discussion. Where I want to focus it on is this idea about how it affects content, right? Because what happens sometimes in mergers and for all the Disney detractors that are out there, for the most part, Disney has done a fairly decent job with the things that they have kind of, done with like Marvel and what they've done with Star Wars. and things like that. I think what happens, though, is that certain things get lost in the shuffle in a merger. Perfect example. Like, companies need to figure out who they're going to appoint to, run certain parts of the house once the merger happens. And oftentimes they kind of don't, right? Like, an example is that 20th Century Fox, who Disney acquired, in some ways is out in the wilderness at this point. Like, this is something that was like a prestige studio before they bought it. And I understand why they bought some of the things that they bought and the content that they bought, because they needed to, if they had international aspirations for Disney Plus and everything else that goes with that, right? But it's almost like they don't really know what to do with 20th Century Fox at this point. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen, and you and I have seen this both, sir. We've seen in the last month of last year, they basically kind of came out with 3 or 4 movies that they just kind of dumped in theaters, and then they basically became, streaming pipeline type of films. You know what I mean? And I think in some ways that's not going to be a good look over the long haul. Like, if 20th Century Fox can put out really good movies still, even though they are under the Disney banner, and Disney is obviously, bankrolling these kind of movies, you've got to get someone in there who knows how to, one, promote these movies, because promotion to me has almost been a real problem over at 20th Century Fox. Like, either they're putting movies too close together or they don't know what to do with them. So it's just kind of like they're throwing things out there. This is the dark side of mergers. Like, we celebrate when we get a merger that kind of takes into consideration the things that we like in fandom, right? Like, we celebrated when Disney was willing to bankroll Marvel and willing to bankroll Star Wars and just kind of write the checks and let them do whatever they want to do with those things. And that's great. But what happens when, because some of us in the fandom like more than just superhero movies. We like dramas, we like comedies, we like all other things. And a certain studio that they may own doesn't necessarily know what to do with those movies now anymore, right? And they just need to figure out and find someone who has, the experience sort of running the studio, who wants to run a studio and maintain that as an asset for them. Because if they maintain 20th Century Fox as a prestige asset type studio for them that is willing to put out, acclaimed dramas and things like that, that's just going to be another feather in the cap over, at the Mouse House. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and I think the whole reason that I started it off with about Amazon and MGM is I'm really worried about what's going to happen with MGM. Like, MGM has some really good properties: the Rocky franchise, the Bond franchise. And oftentimes you kind of hear things that make you cringe that Amazon is talking about. Like, Amazon wants to do, for the most part, they kind of really want to do a Bond series. Unfortunately, the Broccoli family that owns the Bond license at this point has no interest in doing that. They would rather do movies because they know people will go and see those movies depending on who they pick as Bond. You know what I mean? And I also heard a rumor too that they kind of want to do which I think would be a mistake, but they want to do a Rocky prequel show, which I really think is a mistake, because what are you going to do? You're going to talk about him maybe coming up as a club fighter, right? Because we all know that Rocky was a club fighter from the first movie. But what are you going to focus on? Him having a relationship with Paulie when he was younger and before he meets Adrian? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think mergers are great in this age of streaming because studios need to obviously acquire content. It's hard out here competing. But I think besides just thinking about, hey, we have this IP and hey, we have this IP, you have to remember kind of how the distribution model worked from the very beginning and making that sometimes your primary focus. Because if you make that the primary focus, everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah, I've heard talk about it. Someone actually said, well, why don't you just make a Moneypenny series? I was like, it's not a bad idea. See what happens. We'll see what comes about with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a legendary series too, which is, like production company. Like when you think of that studio is MGM was in there, like, you know, for
long time.
So when you hear MGM, you're like, oh, wow, you don't think of MGM and Amazon. Like they seem like two different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll see what's going to happen. And that was Michael's Just a Thought on the darker side of mergers. That he's going to end up doing a series called Dark Side of Mergers and talking about different. It's going to be on Vice. It's going to be right next to Dark Side of the Ring and Dark Side of Football.
Exactly.
Which is going to be, but it's going to be before their new series, which is going to be Dark Side of Ping Pong. A lot of dirty deals going on in ping pong.
They have a Dark Side of Football show?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, which I think is already out there. Like, people know about the dark side things that happen in football. Wrestling, you don't know.
Yeah.
It's on Vice.
Is it on Hulu?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on Hulu.
I have no idea we had a Dark Side of Football show.
I don't know what's on it because I'm like, what else can you tell? Like, what's real? Like, what is like? Are you going back to the times when they used to use like leather helmets? Like, what do you like? What stories are you telling?
Yeah, exactly.
We know about the stuff going on now. So I don't know. So yeah, they do. I don't know how many episodes. I think it just started. I think it's maybe like 2 seasons, maybe. I'm not sure. Something newer.
Yeah, that Dark Side of Wrestling show is really good.
Dude,
for people who aren't watching that show, you need to watch that show.
The things that you don't know are incredible.
Yeah. And
it's all a shoot. It's all like it's all a shoot. That show is wild.
Yeah.
In comic book news, want to give a shout out to Demetrius and the crew at Anyone Comics. Not only did they celebrate their fourth anniversary. Fourth anniversary. I want to say fifth. No, fourth anniversary. They also opened up another shop in Long Island City in Queens called Everyone Comics. The next store that they're going to own is going to be called All of Them Comics. Then they're going to open up another store called All Over There Comics. Y'all. All y'all comics. And then, but I actually want to call up and say who all over there. I want to say is everybody and them over there?
Yeah,
because that's going to be the next shop is going to be everybody and them. Then their mama and them.
Then they got to open up another one called Your Mans and Them.
Yeah,
Your Mans and Them.
Whose mans is this? At Mans and Them. No, but congratulations, awesome. They've been open for I want to say maybe 2 weeks or so.
Yeah,
maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I haven't been up to go there yet, but I'm hoping this spring everything goes well and such. I want to go up there. I want to check out this the shop, and I want to see what they got to eat around there because comic book shops are known for having good places to eat around them. As far as I've from my experience, there have always been bomb places to eat around comic book shops. So
your mans in them.
Your mans will be in the building with them. The store looks incredible from what I've seen on social media. Is also, congratulations to them. I'm happy to see him expanding. I know it's nerve-wracking to him, He's doing incredible things and is always there. In June, we are going to be getting Nubia, Queen of the Amazons. This is going to be because we had Nubia and the Amazons, which led into Trial of the Amazons, which is still going. I think I have 2 more issues of that. Then there's going to be, at the end of that, there's going to be a special one-shot called Nubia a Coronation, where she's going to actually be formally coronated as the Queen of the Amazons. Hippolyta put Nubia in charge of the Amazons. Nubia was the was guarding the well where the Amazons will actually come out of when they started to appear on Themyscira, which hasn't happened in centuries. So Nubia and the Amazons was the start of that story. Was the well had opened back up and new Amazons had actually appeared on Themyscira. Really good. I'm actually finishing that. For a while I wasn't reading because of life. I'm trying to read everything now and I'm catching up, but I'm so happy to see this. Also see Stephanie Williams working on that as well. Huge fan. Comics I say you should definitely be picking up are Land of Living Gods from Aftershock. Yes. This is like set in Africa. In like a little bit of a dystopian world where you do have some living gods that actually live on the planet and nature and such like that. It's really beautifully done. I love it. There are only 2 issues in. Go check this out. Aftershock is a company that's doing a lot of stuff. They're doing really great things. Next one is New Masters. This is also set in Africa. Kind of like an adventure story. This is from Image. This one, is another. Again, this is only 2 issues in as well. The next one, Primos, which is from AWA Studios. Their line is Upshot. This is about 3 Latinx cousins.
You, Joy Finity, and Carlos Ramsey?
Bro, if you knew how mad I was. Because I've had this idea for years. I'm like, yo, this makes total sense. Are you serious? This is I'm like, yo, this is awesome. But they did a way better job than I would have done. And it's them and they become these heroes. And there's this ancient deity who actually tells them that it's in your bloodline to be these heroes and champions, stuff like that. And there's I think it's a young boy, it's a woman, and it's like, like an older cousin who's like, the fighter your streets were at. It's really fun. Like I said, it's only been 2 issues. It's from AWA, which is another like kind of young fledgling company that's out there. They had another comic that I really enjoyed called Hectic, I think it was called, and it was another one that's called Grendel Country, which is like a modern, updated telling of like Beowulf as such, which is awesome. And the last one I'm going to say is Little Monsters. This one kind of blew me away. This is out from Image. It's a world that's been devastated by some type of cataclysm. We don't know what it is, and it's just children that are left on the planet. Maybe about, I think there's maybe 8, 7 of them, what have you. But they're vampires. There's no one left on the planet. So, and it's like written in this horror way because they talk about an elder. So who turned these children? Why did they turn them? And what happens to the planet where no one is left? And each night they have to find different things to do. Like they keep playing like a game like Manhunt. If you know Manhunt, you know Manhunt. If you don't, think of like hide and go seek, but just a little rougher and much wider scale, and usually at night. So they do that. They jump off of buildings because they'll heal by the next day. And they've been doing this for we don't know how long. And they're bored. And they're still children. They're not going to grow because vampires. And they talk about, well, the elders out there, but no one ever sees them. They haven't talked to them. They haven't seen them in I don't know how long. At the end of the issue, one of the children is looking for safety because it's about to be sunlight. So they're looking for someplace to go. No. One of them hasn't come back. So another one goes looking for them. Then they come across someone. They come across this grown man. Who is he? Where have you been all this time? How did you survive this? Why have we never seen you before? Why have we never even smelled your scent before? And then it goes from there. It's done in like a black, white, and red coloring, which I love as far as horror, and it conveys vampires so well, obviously. Yeah, so check those out. Those are my recommendations. There's a bunch. I'm trying to catch up on reading, which is just my phone is mad heavy, my tablet mad heavy, my pockets stay heavy. No, they actually don't. Um, yes, there's a lot out there to read, and there's gonna be, and I know when summertime comes, it's gonna be even worse, but good at the same time because I'm glad there's so much to read that you know, it, there's always something it's not going to say, oh no, there's nothing to read. Content is out there, whether it's streaming, whether it's movies, whether it's comics, whether it's novels, games. There's a lot of stuff out there going on.
Yeah.
All right, and yeah, that's my last recommendation. I'm going to say it again, folks, because for the people who are in the back, haven't listened, whatever, what have you, GoFundMe for Maya Crown Williams, who unfortunately has been stricken with cancer. We always say that we're a community. We're here for everyone. So let's show it. Let's actually demonstrate that. In the episode description, as always, you will see 2 links. You will see a link for Everyone Comics. You will also see a link for Maya Crown Williams GoFundMe. Go check it out. If your pockets are not able to do it right now, then at least share it. You know what I mean? If you're able to, give what you can. Nobody's telling you, to give up, the family farm. Give what you can. And that's great. If you can't, totally understand, because life happens. If you could share it, that'd be great also. All right? Thank you very much. Like I said, we always say that we're a community and this, and this. Then let's show it. Sometimes words don't matter. Your actions are what's going to show it. And folks, that has been today's show. So,
yes, sir.
Next week,
sir,
we got Mr. Spectre. We have Dr. Morbius. We're going to have John, a.k.a. Master Chief.
Mm-hmm.
What else are they going to throw at us next week, man? What else?
I don't know, bro. Don't know. You know what? I need to finish whatchamacallit, bro.
What's that, brother?
Raised by Wolves. I've not finished that show yet.
Dude, I'm still season 1. You're better than me. Still season 1, bro. I watched it again. I like that first episode. I'm like, it picks up so quickly. What the hell? Then I was like, yeah, man, I got stuff to do. I can't. It's good, but it's not. It's for some reason it's not holding me. What has been holding me is Billions. I binged 5 seasons in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on episode 6. I'm on season 6 now. I'm at episode 3, I think, or so. Okay. And the season's almost over, so that's great. So when it comes back around, I'll be up on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad to see my boy go, but I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But the door is open. Seeing my man, in the country with cannons, I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, this dude is just, at a certain point, I actually want to punch Chuck in the face. But sometimes like, yo, man, he's just something. So, but Paul Giamatti does such a great job with this character. The entire cast is just so great. I'm just loving it. I haven't watched a bit in maybe a week or so. I haven't watched it because I usually binge it. I'll watch maybe 3 or 4 episodes, and so I go from there. But because I've watched it so quickly, time hasn't really. I haven't felt the time like they felt it. So at a certain point, I was like, "Wait, all this is happening so quickly," and I'm like, "No, it isn't. I watched 5 seasons. It hasn't happened quickly. It's been developing over time. It had happened, but it's been one of the best shows out there. I'm glad I decided to actually.
It is one of the best shows that I feel like people aren't watching. I don't know very many other people besides yourself who watch Billions, and it's one of the better shows on TV.
Yeah, I want to say enough people are watching. I mean, for it to be the 6th season, but I don't make it go 8. 7 is good. even if it ends at the end of this season, which I don't know because I haven't read anything about it because I didn't want anything spoiled for me, obviously. But yeah, that has been the one I have to catch up on Endgame. They brought Law and Order back, the original.
I saw that.
I'm a huge fan of Law and Order SVU. I've been watching that since I think like the 5th season. USA, if you have not, I started watching on USA because they would show like every episode on a cycle over every day, and I'm like, yo, this is awesome. It was the Stoop with Cat. I forgot her name, can't remember, and I'd watch it regularly. I'm like, yo, this is great, and caught up, and I watch it every week. I either record it on my DVR or I watch it on Hulu. I could watch it on Peacock, but I don't. I watch on Hulu for some reason. I think because I'm more on Hulu than Peacock. Because Peacock is, if there's a game of knockout, I don't know if Peacock's going to make it. I don't know. To be real with you, I just don't know because I'm not watching WWE like that. That's why I got it. But I don't watch Raw and SmackDown. I don't, like I might watch the pay-per-view. Well, excuse me, premium live event once they stop. But no, but the name makes sense because it's not pay-per-view anymore. So that makes sense. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, cool. That makes sense.
Wait, so what's the difference?
Well, you remember like pay-per-view is through like your cable company. So you would pay like $50 to watch it once.
All right.
If you're watching it on the WWE network, which you still have over in Europe, or Peacock, you're not just watching pay-per-view because it's a monthly subscription thing. So logically, the term does make sense.
Okay.
It's a premium live content where they'll show SmackDown, which is regular TV, but this is an event. Like, say if it's like Survivor Series or WrestleMania. WrestleMania is a premium live event. SmackDown is their episodic television series. So the wording does make sense. So premium live event does.
So you're still paying the $50. You just can watch it as many times as you want to.
No.
Oh, it's included in the subscription?
It's included with Peacock, yes.
So how are they making money off of that? Because they can't be making money.
Dude, I don't know what Vince is doing these days. Nobody knows what Vince is doing these days.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work as well. On the network, it was, I think, maybe $8. So where Peacock is $5. So I was like, oh, bet, cool, that saves me. But it doesn't work as well. The search isn't as, well, actually, the search is a little better. But say you have something going on. You come home and you want to watch WrestleMania, but it's been on for 2 hours. You can't watch it from the beginning where you could with the network. The network, you could watch it from the beginning if it had already been going on for 2 hours. On Peacock, if you go to watch it, you're watching it from where it's at right now. You can't go back until the next day to watch the replay, to watch it all over again. You can't do that, which doesn't make any sense. And it's been like that since it's been on Peacock. Yeah, there's a lot of foibles with it. It just
doesn't make any sense.
It just doesn't hit. That's why I'm like, yeah, okay, go, whatever. But I was always watching.
But you know what it is? You know what it is? It's probably because he's making so much money up front from Comcast and Peacock. He doesn't really care anymore about someone paying $50 for it.
Dude, the money that they're making is ridiculous.
That's what I mean.
Between the Saudi Arabia shows also. So when they would always say, oh, budget cuts for those mass layoffs that they were doing, it was always BS because they would always show record-breaking years in money. I think last year, they did they cut maybe like 80 wrestlers. People who they just gave a contract to a week before, they would cut the following week. Literally, they did that.
Yeah.
And then because of that, they have the no compete clause, which they can't compete anywhere for 90 days. If it's NXT, it's 30 days. Because NXT is also on Peacock. You can watch the replays, and you can watch their premium live events on there as well. And you can watch their whole library of stuff. Even the WCW stuff, the ECW, I think Defy, or is it? No. Evolve which is like an indie company. Like you can watch their stuff on there as well. So in that time, that 90 days, they're still paying you. But you can't go anywhere to compete. So when WrestleMania came up, what is coming up, I should say, they were asking people, well, people that they had just released, they were asking them, well, would you like to come and be a part of WrestleMania? What? You just released me. They're still paying you. So they figure, oh, well, you know what? Do you want to come? I mean, you're still paying me. So it's not like you're doing me a favor by giving me some work. You're still paying me. No, I'm going to sit at home. I'm not going to be a part of whatever. Just be there for fodder because they don't have enough. They didn't have enough talent for the Royal Rumble for the women's. They actually had Mickie James, who at the time was the Impact Women's Champion. They had her in, which has not happened with WWE before, like that. That forbidden door was open, and she wore the belt and everything there. They were not doing that before. They rarely acknowledge other companies on a broadcast. So that was a huge deal. Still a shit company. And some of my favorite performers are a part of that company, but it's a shit company, and I just can't deal with it, what have you. So, folks, that was a little wrestling bandwagon talk.
That was a diatribe. Yes.
Look, like I said, I am a aspiring geek polymath. I want to all realms, trying to learn things about everything. And I've been a wrestling fan since I was a kid. I got back into it maybe a while ago. And just once you get into the deepness of it, like Impact, I watch AEW. New Japan just came back on Access Television on Thursdays, and I love everything that's going on over there. Like there's a lot of content, no matter what your particular field or fields of nerddom, geekdom, fandom are. There are so many different realms there that there's a lot of content out there to enjoy. So I want you to enjoy it, folks, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. Any final words, brother?
Be good to each other.
Yeah. That's it, brother.
Eat good food.
That's it.
Watch good shows.
That's it. That's it. Stop hate watching stuff. Doesn't make any difference. Stop that shit.
Exactly.
I don't like it, but you sitting there the next week. Fuck you, idiot. You're so stupid. You can't. Dummy. Yeah, but I ain't like it.
Yeah.
I ain't like the last 5 episodes. So why?
Yeah.
And you binged them, right? Yeah. So why'd you watch all 5? Oh, I ain't nothing to do. Word? You could have did laundry. Could have played a game. You could have texted your mom back. I mean, you could have did anything, bro. Like that. Like that's what you do.
True.
Dummy. Whatever. Myself. Look, drink water. Take care of yourselves. If you are on any type of medication, whether it's for physical ailment or mental ailment, please take it. Okay. Yeah, just be the best you that you can be. Okay. The days are tough, but we're coming up in the spring. There's more sunlight out. If you're able to get out, get some sunlight. Take a walk, get some fresh air. Make sure that you're sucking in as much D as possible. No, I'm not going to change that statement. Take that however the hell you want. I don't care. I'm a grown ass man, dog. I'm a grown ass man. And you know what's in this cup? Strawberry almond milk. Look at that. Strawberry almond milk. I'm a grown ass man.
Look at you, brother. Look at you.
So on that note, folks, look, do the best you can with what you got, because in the end, that's all that you get. This is Michael Williams. I am Antonio Pomares.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Eat something tasty, and just breathe. Just breathe.
Just breathe.
And on that note, God, my neck is all loosened up. I left them 5 discs in the back. They all disheveled. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to get this neck working. We're going to get, look, I'm talking about sucking in all the D you can get and that neck work. I don't care. I'm going to see y'all later. Peace.